Hello and welcome to the Footballbets4u Podcast, episode number 32 of season 3. I'm joined this week by Paddy.
Hello.
And Chris.
How's it going?
Lads, an interesting week. Just obviously news coming out about Harry Kane and stuff like that. Wanting to leave Spurs after so long within there. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. I'm just going to give the fantasy football. We do have a league, so there is prizes for the winner of that. So I'm just going to go through the table real quick to see who it is. I think, obviously, this being the last game week and stuff like that, we're going to be looking at kind of the last game week, obviously, of the season. But going forward, we are going to continue the podcast and kind of bring it on into the off season or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to be looking at, like, when we're doing it now, we're going to be looking at the likes of transfers and just general topics that kind of are of interest.
Coronation Street.
Coronation Street could be one of them. I'm more of an EastEnders man myself.
Oh, I see there's the debate already.
Yeah, there you go. So that's it. And I know Chris is going to jump in and say he's Emmerdale.
Yeah, he's a real Emmerdale head in him, hasn't he?
He is an Emmerdale head for Emmerdale. So, lads, we're going to just look at the fantasy football again. Going back to what I was saying there is prizes for this. I do know there's over 350 people, I think, in the league. A lot of them I don't really see on the Instagram page, right like that. I think they may have come from a Facebook page that I posted it in. So what I think I will do from next season is I'm going to just restart the league and I'm going to get everyone out of it that I don't know and that's not kind of interacting with the podcast or even on the Instagram page and stuff like that. And I'd rather have 100 people that are interested and on the page than 300 because I want to give the money to people. But it keeps a bit of interest, and I think we'll have from next season a weekly segment on the fantasy football, and we'll go into a bit more depth on the fantasy football because it makes it a lot more interesting. So look, lads, we'll jump into the first thing, and obviously we're going to be looking at the predictions first. We will break it up with a couple of questions and stuff like that, and then I've one or two bets done for the end. So, lads, we're going to jump into the first thing now. Love it. They will never get old. I don't think I'm going to even touch them over the off season. I don't know, what do you call it? Do you call it an off season in football?
Yeah.
Sounds very American, like.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's what I call it. You can make say anything you want for it. It's grand.
Yeah. Anyway, lads, the first game of the week, Arsenal and Brighton. Again, all these matches are on Sunday, which is dead handy for me because it was fucking copy and paste the whole way down. So they're all at 4 o'clock on Sunday. So Arsenal are 8-13, 14-5 for the draw, and Brighton are 4-1. Chris, coming to you first because you were very angry the last time you were on, and I didn't come to you first. So I don't forget them type of things. You know, they cut deep when someone says it. Yeah. So how do you see this one going? Just have a quick on how you see it going. Give us a score prediction and then goal score. We'll go quickly through the predictions.
Yeah, I think for all the matches, it probably applies for the last day of the season where they're all a bit mad, like they can go either way. So personally, I'm not going to put too much effort into really trying to predict it because couldn't predict any of the other weeks, let alone the last game week. So, I don't know. For me, like I just see Arsenal kind of trying to finish off the last game, especially with it being a home game and fans being back allowed in. I'd imagine that they're going to try to finish strong. So I could see an Arsenal win. 2-0, and I'll say Aubameyang.
Next one, and Paddy?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because if Arsenal don't get Europe this season, it's the first time in 25 years they haven't been in European competition.
Oh, I like the stats.
There's a stat.
Tyler.
Yeah.
So, and then they're going for this conference, the new third tier European League between themselves, Tottenham and Everton. So whether do they want that? I think like the Thursday night football, Sunday football has really affected Arsenal the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
And another stat for you here. Over the last 23 games, Arsenal are second in the form table.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're not as bad as everyone thinks.
Fucking hell, I wouldn't have thought that.
No, I heard that on another podcast earlier on, so don't
steal their
content.
You're stealing their content and you're cheating on us all at the same time. It's disgusting behavior.
I'm not allowed to listen to other podcasts.
No other podcasts.
My missus lets me look at other women. Just once I don't touch them, like.
I'm allowed to touch them and I look at them.
I've no more stats. That's all I'm statted out for this week now. Brighton, good win against City there. Gonna go for another Brighton win. Gonna go for a 2-1 Brighton win. Gonna go for Aubameyang to score first though, and then get deflated. They'll take the foot off the gas, and Brighton will come back.
Nice one. Just a quick one before I give me prediction. Aaron's in there. I'm on question 7 of my beat the drop. Oh yeah. Still in the pot. Do I keep it to just football or do I try fly through it and finish as quickly as possible? See, I don't know. It depends. So Connor kind of explained what this was. I think Abraham might have been on it before where he was telling us that he had a good one going. So it's basically, do you ever watch a £1 million drop where you start off with £1 million and you spread it across certain answers and stuff like that? Yeah. This one is a similar thing. I think I don't know 100%. I think there's like a certain bet that you can pick and you can put your money on that. And I don't know if you can spread it across the bets or if it just all goes on one bet.
Who's this way?
Paddy Power. It's free to play. So you start off with £1,000 and then whatever you get to the end with, you keep. It's harder than it sounds. It is a lot harder than it sounds, yeah. So getting to question 7 is fucking savage. In terms of kind of keeping it to football, I would say maybe this would be our last week on keeping it football. Obviously, you're not going to go much further than this week. There is a couple of matches that you could look at. The likes of Dortmund, I think, are going to finish strong. Bayern Munich. Now, again, I don't know whether these bets or these teams or whatever it is going to be available to you. So there is a couple of good matches that are available, but again, if you're at question 7, probably gets harder and harder. So I doubt they're gonna leave them ones open to you.
So it's like football or any other sport on Paddy Power, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
It's not general knowledge, right? You couldn't do it on Friends or something.
No. I wish you could. No. Lads, back onto the football there. So Arsenal again. I think Arsenal are going to finish strong this season. I think I don't know. Is this the first game back since the fans? They weren't at home the other day? Were they?
Yeah. No, it's their first game of fans.
Yeah, so they're going to want to put on a show for the fans. They had a good result there during the week. It was 3-1 against Palace. Pepe scoring twice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm going to say another convincing win. I'm going to go 3-0. And I am going to say Pepe to score again. I'm also going to say Lacazette to get a goal as well. So, that's what that one is. Lads, on to the next one. Aston Villa and Chelsea. So 21-4 for Villa, 16-5 for the draw, and 4-9 for Chelsea. Paddy, we'll go to you first on this one. What do you make of this? Obviously, Chelsea picking up a good win again, a really, really good win against Leicester. Obviously, a little bit of revenge from losing the cup. We haven't talked about it since kind of it happened. I was a little bit good. I put a couple of things up on Instagram. I was a little bit childish about it, but at the same time, don't really give a fuck. I can put what I want. Yeah, I don't really care. I can put whatever the fuck I want on that page. I don't care who doesn't like it. So how do you see this one going? Obviously, Chelsea really needing the win here. Tuchel coming out and saying that the job's not done. The win against Leicester didn't mean that unless they beat Villa, which is 100% true. So, do you see them? Do you see John Terry maybe doing us a favour?
Oh, so Jesus, I was thinking. I thought Chelsea were safe now, but they're definitely. I'm just looking at the table here, and they're definitely not.
That's a negative.
Very exciting last day of the season now. Wow. Villa away won't be an easy game either. Will they have their eye on the Champions League final? I think Chelsea will be too strong for Villa. A draw is a possibility, but I'm going to go with Chelsea win 2-1. And Werner, he's on a bit of a streak at the moment. And I've always had faith in him. He's a
streak of disallowed goals. The lads, I lost all hope for that fucking Leicester game because the last 3 goals I had celebrated for Chelsea were all ruled offside or else handball. It got to the stage where when Rudiger scored the goal, it was like, yeah, but then I'm like waiting for it to be confirmed that it is a goal before I start fucking celebrating. Like, so it's getting fucking annoying.
Allowed fucking Cavani's goal. Couldn't believe it.
I know. That was a shocker as well. Like, Fernandez came out and said that he didn't think he hit it anyway, and he said he doesn't
know. How do you not know if you kick a ball?
I know. But it's one of those though where like it's really light, so. Like, he could be, like, flicking his foot and he's feeling his lace hitting off the side of his boot. Do you know what I mean? He thinks he's after fucking hitting it.
Like, hit the ball.
Yeah. Chris, how do you see this one for Chelsea?
I think it's a must win for Chelsea, so I don't see them doing anything other than winning, but I don't think it's going to be easy for them. Villa have had a bit of a crap run when they lost Grealish. They went into a bit of a slump. He's back. They seem to be playing a little bit better. They got a great win against Spurs away last week, which I didn't think they were going to. I actually fancied Spurs to get something out of them. So I actually think it's going to be a tough game. I think Villa might score first, but I would fancy Chelsea to win it because it just means more to them. So I'll go 2-1 Chelsea. I'm not going first goal scorer, but I do fancy Mount to get a goal to cap off a good season for himself.
Very good, yeah. He's been on fire, so I do kind of agree with you on that he's probably due a goal or two.
Yeah.
Just actually, lads, just while if anybody is watching, you see the little symbol down here, subscribe. So if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and stuff like that because it helps us. So I got me angles all wrong there because it's backwards.
And did you paint that in the front of your camera, yeah?
What?
Did you paint that down in the corner of your camera?
Painted, I drew it on with marker. So I had to get a magnifying glass on the end on the little tiny camera to do it.
You're the only person who can see it because you drew it on your screen.
Yeah, you just can't see it. Lads, look again. It's a big, massive game for Chelsea. Nothing is guaranteed. I'm hoping John Terry does us a favour here. It'd be great. It'd be nice to see. I don't think it's going to happen though. So I do think Chelsea are going to get the win. I'm a little bit worried about Kante after going off injured, and
he did go off injured. He go off because he could sense.
He felt something. Yeah, he felt something. Yeah. So he went off. And Mount had a slight injury, but I think he should be fine for it. So yeah, I am going to say Chelsea to get the win. Again, like Chris said, I don't think that it's going to be a walk in the park. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think probably 0-0 at half time, and I think Chelsea might nick a goal early in the second half and then just try kind of dominate the game. But I think they'll absorb a lot of pressure against Villa. Villa are going to kind of stack it on them when they go 1-down. And I'm hoping Chelsea stick it out. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Chelsea, and I'm going to say Mount to score as well as Chris. Lads, we move on to the next one. Fulham and Newcastle. Fulham 13-10, 12-5 for the draw, 9-5 for Newcastle. Again, that means fuck all. Fulham obviously relegated, as they should be. They weren't great for a very long time. Newcastle absolutely blessed to get out of there. They put themselves in a shit situation. Didn't really need to be in that type of fucking battle they were in. Steve Heads, as we call him. He might be reconsidering his position there. I don't know whether they're going to keep him around. It's going to be an interesting one. Again, there is always this talk with Newcastle about new owners coming in and potentially selling the club. I think it's a great club to buy if you're going to buy a club because the fans are passionate. That's what you want. You sell out the stadium every time.
You got away with more with the fans not being there. I think it would have been out the door.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A while ago, the fans had been there.
And especially on that big that shitty little run they had, I definitely think there would have been a little bit of fucking words said from the fans. Anyway, let's put it that way. Chris, what do you reckon on this one? Again, like I said, nothing fucking much to be talking about in it, but
it's to be honest, these games are really tough. It's one of the ones where it could be an absolute bore fest 0-0, or it could have 7 or 8 goals in it because the two are just don't give a shit. I tend to be leaning more towards the bore fest side of things. I could see it being probably a 0-0 draw, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, Paddy?
I'm going to go for 2-2 and Lukeman to score first.
All right, nice. I am going to go with a 2-1 win for Newcastle. And I do think St. Maximum. Willock has obviously been their latest scorers, but I think Maximum could be maybe putting himself in the shop window. I think he does have a bit of talent, and I think with better players around him, he might
at West Ham or something.
Yeah, West Ham, I suppose. Yeah, or even
Everton.
Yeah, maybe an Everton. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like, is he at that level where like maybe a Leicester or an Everton or something like that? Hard one to tell, but yeah, I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win for Newcastle. I'm gonna say Maximum to score. So lads, on to the next one. Leeds, and West Brom. So 4-9 for Leeds, 7-2 for the draw, 5-1 for West Brom. Lads, look, Leeds obviously been on a decent enough run lately. Haven't conceded in the last 2 games, which is very, very unusual for Leeds, considering at the start of the season they were fucking leaking goals for fun. Paddy, what do you think on this one? Do you think Leeds will continue to run? Again,
Big Sam's last game.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that Big Sam has kind of handed in the notice. He's gone. So does he want to go out with a bang, or do you think he gives a fuck now?
No, Leeds will finish strong. They've been on a bit of a run now, and they've done a great job this season, I have to say. Played some good football. Be able to coach of the year, maybe. Possibly. Like, he's in contention anyway. Like, he's done a great 100%. Job, you know. Yeah. I'm going to go for Leeds win 3-1, Bamford.
Okay. And Chris?
Fancy Leeds as well. If you look at the table, depending on obviously the results around them, if they win, they have the potential to finish in 8th, then, which is a nice little spot for them to finish. So it's a little bit of an incentive for them to finish strong as well. Plus the fact that West Brom are pants, so they should really fancy themselves going into the game as well. I can see Leeds dominating it, say 3-0 win, and I'll go for Bamford.
Okay, nice one. I'm kind of the same. I think Leeds are going to continue the good run. I don't think Big Sam is going to be too motivated to push his team to get a fucking win away from home where there's no fans. As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't really give a rat's anymore. He's fucking out the door. He's off to Spain, drink fucking pints of gravy on the beach. So he doesn't give a rat's. I think he's going to be spanked here today, and I think on Sunday, and I think it's going to be a 3-0 win for Leeds. And I'm going to say Harrison to score. Harrison's a good one for the fantasy football. He's actually pretty cheap. He's like 5.2 million or something.
Three of us have said convincingly Leeds win. I bet you West Brom fucking...
100%. 100%. Yeah. Right, lads, we're moving on. Leicester and Spurs. This is a decent game. Again, massive game for Leicester because it's kind of out of their hands now at the moment. But they have to do their own job. They have to make sure they get the job done. Not going to be an easy one against Spurs. Again, Harry Kane is going to want to prove something on his last game. Are we saying maybe Son could be leaving along with Kane, or is he going to step up and be the main man now? Because he could be putting himself in the shop window. So
they won't sell over them. They won't sell.
I don't think so.
No.
Dele Alli maybe.
Depends on who the manager is, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Mason's going to have a lot to say in it. Like,
I think Levy's rather keep Dele Alli, get a good season out of him, and then sell him, because they wouldn't get much for him now. Or they wouldn't get as much for him now as they would have last summer.
Yeah, because he has been poor this season.
Yeah.
19-20 for Leicester, 13-5 for the draw, and 12-5 for Tottenham. So obviously Leicester not heavy favourites, but fair favourites. Chris, what do you think on this one? Do you think it's going to be a Leicester win just because it means a little bit more to them, or?
I actually think it could be one of the better games of the last day, purely because of the position both teams are in. I think from a Leicester perspective, obviously it's important for them to win in terms of their finishing position. They'll be hoping Liverpool don't get a result. And then for Tottenham, it's going to be probably one of those emotionally charged games for the fans and for Harry Kane. Yeah. Because if you've listened to any of the interviews and stuff, there was one on today with Gary Neville and Harry Kane. They were out playing golf. And they were interviewing. He sounds dead cert on leaving. Like he's completely convinced himself now. So
I think he actually nearly slipped up. I don't know if you heard it, but he was like, he's like, you know, he's watching the Champions League games, and he's like, and I see all he goes, I see all the English clubs there, and he goes, that's where I want to be. That's the games I want to play in. Yeah. But it was like he was almost about to say which club he wanted to be at. Like, and I was like,
I'd say it's done. I'd say it's a done deal.
Yeah, it could be a verbal thing done. Yeah, it could be verbally done. I'd say.
Same. I heard that and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Why did he have to say it that way?
I know,
obviously, I would love him to go to United, but personally, I do think it's between United and City in terms of who he goes to.
Yeah.
It's up to him.
Chelsea, like, I don't see that happen at all.
I think it's
Chelsea need him.
Not as much as the other two do.
Yeah.
But I think it's up to him just in terms of like what kind of challenge he wants, or what kind of goals he has set for himself. Like, does he want more of a challenge or more of a project where he can kind of help United get back to their best? Because he knows but he knows he's going to play week in, week out for United. Whereas with City, he is going to be rotated out of the squad. Pep does it with everyone. Like, no one is safe from rotation. So if he's trying to hit the targets that he wants to hit, getting up there with, like he said himself, he wants to get up there with like Messi, Ronaldo, and hit 60, 70 goals a season.
That's why I think City is the option. That's why I think that City is going to be the better option.
He's not going to play as much football with City
as
United.
But when you think about it, It's only
United, come to United and you can be the new Cantona.
Hold on.
No, I
want to refer to something that you just said. The rotation that has really only happened to Pep over the last season or two. Like you think about Aguero, how long he played under Pep, solely under Pep. Like if you have a number 9, Pep is going to play him all the time. He's only rotating like Jesus in and out because he hasn't been the best striker in the world. Aguero at the top of his game was fucking brilliant, and Pep knows how good Kane is. So I think he would play week in, week out.
Yeah, but he's not just
going to City.
Yeah, that's the other thing is I think Haaland and Kane are coming to either United and City and possibly Chelsea as well. Like I do think there's a chance of Haaland going to Chelsea as well. There's a chance United could get absolutely shafted and get neither of them, which I would absolutely hate to see.
No, the owners are going to want to get somebody.
Oh yeah,
to make it up to them.
Invest. 100%, they're going to want to invest to make up for the whole Super League thing. But I don't know. Personally, I just see like when you look at Pep, like yes, he has allowed players to have good runs previously, but it's not just the front 2 or 3 that he's rotating now; it's the whole squad. Yeah, defensively, you can't like. I got rid of most of my City players out of my fantasy league because I had 3 of them in, and every week I was only getting one appearance from the 3 of them, or maybe a cameo. Like it's shocking. So as much as they're guaranteed to get you points when they do play, you can't be relying on them to actually get a game.
Yeah, exactly.
So. But that's across the field, like the defense, the midfield, the wingers, the striker, like everywhere. So maybe he felt he needed to adapt this season because of the personnel he has, possibly. But also he could be just changing his style and trying to manage the players because how compact the league has been with games. Like you're having to play a game every 2 or 3 days.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I think they've really squeezed them in together in this season. Like
so, depends on what happens during the Euros with the squads as well. I think I heard as well the lads talking about it on Sky Sports, and they were saying that typically Daniel Levy, when you look at like Gareth Bale as an example or Modric as an example, those deals were probably done early off in the windows, but he dragged them out for the whole window because he wanted to get the best value he could for the players. So he wants to leave it at the last minute. So there is a chance that he could do that with Kane as well and just say, the typical quote, want to focus on the Euros, we'll talk about it after the Euros. And we're all left waiting then until the end of the competition to decide what actually happens. So, I don't know. I do see him he's definitely moving anyway. I just don't know where, hopefully to United. But listen, time will tell. But for this game anyway, I do fancy Leicester to get a win. I think it will be a good game. I think we'll probably be looking at maybe like a 3-2 to Leicester. I'll go for I see goals in because I think both of them are going to come out flying. They both know that they need to get a result. So I can see 3-2 Leicester, and I'll go for Tielemans again to get the first goal.
He's a prick, but okay. Paddy, go ahead.
I can see Leicester slipping up, bottling it a little bit. I'm going to say 2-2 and Harry Kane to score first.
Ooh, interesting.
We're going to make statements about the Kane thing. If United get Kane, they'll win the league next season. There's a prediction for you. If they get Kane.
I didn't realise how much they fucking needed Harry Maguire when I seen them play without him. I was like, that was actually shocking for me, like to see how much they missed him. Like it
was so bad. We were totally lost. Like there was no structure. It was horrible to watch.
On this one, I think you're right with goals. I'm gonna say 2-1 to Leicester though. I think they will get the job done. Brendan Rodgers has been quality this season. I have to admit, he has done a great job getting them the FA Cup. I think the first time in 147 years club's history. So fair fucks to him. Like, look, it was obviously shit for me. It happened against Chelsea. It was a handball. We should have had a pen, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. But no, fair play to them. I'm not bitter. But we should have won.
Funny way of showing
it. So I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win for Leicester, and I'm gonna say Vardy because Vardy, he's due a goal. Like Iheanacho has been taking all the kind of the credit over the last couple of weeks, and he is definitely due a goal. Just a quick one in there from me dad. Dream on, Chris. Kane is going to City. End of.
I'm all right with that once Haaland comes to United.
Yeah. You'll happily do the trade. Like. Right, lads. We're gonna just break up the questions there, right? And we're going to go into just a little section that we've been doing lately, which is pretty cool to break up. I'm just filling a gap here while I find what I'm looking for. And that is the question section. Lads, we've 3 questions that we're going to be looking at. Again, there is another topic that I'm going to bring up at the end just after. We might just have a little discussion about it, depending on how long we're running. And the first question we have in is from Sam Doyle. Sam says, predictions for the Euros, the Champions League, Europa, and the Prem all next season. That's a lot of predictions. We'll do our best. Euros, lads, who are we saying to win the Euros? I'm going to just jump in. I'm going to say if England don't win it, it's the biggest letdown since fucking something that was let down that was quite big. I can't think about it, but you know what I mean. It's a big letdown. You know, this is a class.
Since Werner gone to Chelsea.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Chris, who are you saying?
I saw a report, maybe it was actually on TikTok, but I saw somebody talking about the squad that France have, and fuck me, they have some squad of players. And it kind of just brainwashed me into not being able to think about a team other than France. To be honest, like they have such a strong young squad. I can see them going on and winning like 2 or 3 major tournaments like in a row if they wanted to.
Yeah.
They've got such a strong squad. Like even their goalkeepers, like they've 3 top goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Even that, I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize that. You kind of forget who those players are in terms of what nation they are. So yeah, France for me, I can't see past them.
Yeah, it's like France, and you look at obviously their midfield as well. Like Kante, Pogba's there, like, and then even when you go to like Mbappe, obviously being one of the fucking.
But like they're forwards, right? Ben Yedder, Benzema, Kingsley Coman, Ousmane Dembele, Giroud, Griezmann, Mbappe, and Thuram.
And the funny thing about that is Giroud is the one that's fucking scoring the goals for them. Like it's like Giroud's fucking record for France is unbelievable. Like
but Karim Benzema is on fire now as well. Benzema's on
fire. He's class. Real Madrid has been class.
I think England are a bit young. Yeah, still.
Okay, yeah.
So I still think the next tournament or the one after they'll have a good chance of winning it. But I'd say for this one, I'm just going to go with Germany, just because you can't look past Germany. The Germans are just so reliable, solid, in every tournament, like they really are. Yeah. I could say a Portugal or a France as well, but I suppose just to be a bit controversial, I'll say Germany.
Yeah, like again, Portugal are definitely ones to watch. I know, obviously they have won tournaments in the past and they've been thereabouts, but like you look at their squad and even their defense and stuff like that. Like you have Cancelo, Diaz, like a lot of the kind of the City players. You've got fucking Bernardo Silva's there. Obviously,
Ronaldo's last tournament as well.
Exactly, yeah. So Ronaldo's going to want to get that fucking golden boot in the Euros. So look, Portugal are definitely fucking ones to watch out.
Yeah.
Champions League, again, lads, I think we kind of had a little bit of a discussion on this last week, Paddy, me and yourself. It's hard to tell when you don't know what signings are going to be made.
Yeah. I think the rest of them questions are for after the transfer window.
I think so. I
suppose with current standings, what do we think? And then we can do it again.
Current Chelsea. no, City for me again. It's just City are the
Champions League.
I think. Yeah, like I see it happening. Like again, I'm kind of probably being biased again. Not biased, but I think they're going to sign Kane or El Haaland. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. I know, but like if you're asking me now,
with the squads they have now.
Well, City and Chelsea are the two that are in the final. So
I get it.
I would have to probably go with City anyway, like because I do think they probably will beat us like on Saturday. So I would say City in the current kind of squads we have. Like, but again, it is one that we're gonna need to see some sort of signings, and we're going to very hard to predict. I think it's probably one we'll move on from, because maybe the only other one we could look at is the Prem for next season, and not so much a prediction, but how do we think it's going to go, and how do we think certain teams are going to perform. One team that we like to talk about, and I think in particular us three like to give a bit of stick to, is Liverpool. How do we think Liverpool are going to do next year, lads? I personally think that this could be the season where Klopp gets sacked.
No,
I don't know. I think
I have to say credit where it's due. They've fucking went on a bit of a run now, and to get into the Champions League spot from where they were.
Yeah.
Like they've done well, and I think they'll get the players back. They'll make a few signings because he knows that changes have to be made. I think they'll be strong again next season.
Yeah, well, obviously they're going to get Van Dijk and stuff back as well, which is going to be a massive boost for them. But I'd see them losing one of the top three, and I know everybody's saying, "Oh no, they're going to add to it."
No, but they need to. That won't be a bad thing. You need to.
I think Jota there is actually a good utility player for them as well, where you can kind of get him in and out of the team. Like, Chris, what do you reckon? Liverpool? Do you reckon?
It's really hard to say. Like, personally, I hope they get relegated, but like, it definitely, I think obviously Van Dijk coming back and Gomez, they're both class, particularly Van Dijk. Like, he does change the team, and Henderson. Like, they've been missing Henderson for a while. He's the kind of talisman in the team. Like, he's the one who pulls all the strings for them. So, I do think they'll be stronger than this season, but at the same time, I can definitely see them losing probably Salah or Mane. So, but at the same time, you'd expect them to come back strong and find a replacement, because if they haven't sacked Klopp, which I don't think they will do, I think based on what he's done for them, they will probably give him at least another season's grace, unless they go absolutely horrendous. And now at that stage, I would imagine he'd just walk away himself.
If they done what they done this year again next year, where like they're sitting in the 6th position and kind of there for ages, and you don't know like how bad the decline is going to get, like, do you think that they would sack?
I don't think they'll ever sack him. I think they'll come to a mutual agreement, or he'll walk away himself. Like,
I think it will be a sacking, but it'll be kind of like, here, look, we're going to just mutually.
Publicly it'll never be. I don't think the fans will ever really call for him either. They all see him as like too much of a god now, but after giving them the league, so, which rightly so as well. Like, it's something that they've all like longed for over the last decade or so. So, I can see them being stronger than last year, but I honestly don't see them getting any further up the table than finishing 4th.
Really,
even next year, I can just see the 3 that are there being the same 3 that are the top 3 next year. Obviously depending on transfers and stuff, but I definitely see City are obviously going to be in there or thereabouts. I do see United getting stronger. I think that over the course of Ollie being there and the transfers that we've made, we've gone from, like, this time last year, I'd be sitting there being like, Jesus, we need 5 or 6 players. Whereas now you're looking at it being like 2, maybe 3 would really put us in contention to put it up against.
And again, if you're going to have the talk of that big transfer, that fucking that talisman that you're gonna get, that's gonna be one of the big ones. Like, so, like, you can really put that down as you're gonna have one top signing, and then maybe just strengthen with another 1 or 2. Not world class, but like definitely players that have ability. Like,
I've seen a lot, and it's been in the last couple of windows they've been talking about him. But Varane from Madrid, apparently he's coming in to England anyway, and United are kind of favourites thereabouts anyway to get him. So I think if we got the likes of like Kane and a Varane or somebody of that caliber at the back, we're nearly there. We do need a winger as well, but I think with the likes of Greenwood or Rashford playing, and we'll get Martial back as well, I think between the 3 of them we'll be able to have enough coverage to make do.
Can I ask you a question, Chris?
Yeah.
The Pogba predicament. Would you prefer Pogba on the left and Greenwood on the right, or would you prefer Rashford on the left and Greenwood on the right, and then just either leave Pogba as a defensive midfielder beside Fred or McTominay, or what way do you say? Because against Liverpool they played him on the left, and I just think Rashford's a lot more dangerous. I
don't like him playing on the wings at all. I just think it's not a strong point. He's great when he gets on the ball and he's attacking, but he doesn't offer enough defensively, and we lose too much structure defensively, like when we haven't got the ball.
You actually see a misman James as well, don't you?
Yeah, I think that injection of pace, especially when you've got the likes of Cavani up front, if you get somebody who drags the defensive line back quickly, it creates the space for Cavani to make those runs, and that's where he gets his goals from. So I think having a bit of pace on the wings is crucial if you're going to play somebody, and for Harry Kane as well, somebody like that's going to thrive on that kind of space. So I think if we were to have the likes of either Rashford, James, Greenwood, or Martial, any 2 of those 4 on the wing with a Kane up front, they're going to get goals. They're going to make space. They're going to get goals.
Like if you're talking about all them, so you want pacey players on the wings, of course you do. Pogba's not going to get in place of Fernandes. So Like, really, would we be better off cutting our losses with Pogba and selling them?
I think so.
Well, I
he's
don't know.
He's always good to have as a backup, but
he's not defensive midfielder, but he won't want to stay as a sit on the bench. No way.
Yeah, no, I don't think he will. No, but I do also think that, like, with the formation that they're playing, they could be probably playing like 3 of them kind of across the middle, rather than it being one attacking or one defending. Just kind of 3 flat midfielders, and then the 2 wingers are getting up and down.
Yeah, if they have a stronger defense, they can afford to not have the 2 sitting midfielders in front of them.
Exactly, yeah. So in my mind, I mean, you could even see it as being like a Bruno, Pogba and McTominay, or even Van de Beek or something like that. Personally, I don't think Van de Beek's going to hang around. Yeah, like a 4-3-3, but the 3 lads sitting in the middle. Obviously, Bruno will probably naturally attack more out of them, but the other 2 will just kind of hold midfield rather than dropping off. Yeah. I would like to see that anyway. I think we'd be able to dominate games and control games if we get back to kind of the glory days. We'll be able to dominate games, and possession football is the key for us. So having more creative players in the squad, I think we definitely need it. Fred, for me, is just too much of a liability. I do like his work rate. So bad. I like his work rate and his commitment. Like, he always gives 100%, and he's one of the players you can rely on to work his bollocks off for the team. But he just doesn't offer enough quality in the times and in the games that count. So for that, like, I would rather have Pogba in there all day long.
And it's you know what I was just thinking there, right? So obviously you have Harry Kane, who's at Spurs now. So when you think about kind of the wingers that he plays with, so you have the likes of Lucas Moura on the right, very, very quick player, like right-footed. He's going to cross a lot of balls in. Like, is Harry Kane going to suit a team where their wingers are the opposite foot, where they're going to cut in a lot, and they're going to maybe be a little bit more greedy than, say, the likes of the Spurs team? Son is very direct, and he will play them passes. And the likes of Moura will get to the byline a lot of the time, cross them in. So do you think it could affect him maybe on getting the goals and stuff?
If they spend 100-odd million on Kane, they're going to build a team around them.
Yeah, they have to
steal him. Either way. Yeah. So.
But also, like, if you look at Kane and his movement and his style of play, he doesn't just stay in the middle all the time. He does interchange with the wingers. Like, he'll go out wide to get the ball to try and cut back in himself. So if you think about it from that perspective, I'd love to have somebody like Rashford who can easily fill in that central space if Kane goes out wide, or vice versa on the right hand side with it, like a Greenwood or something playing out on the right, cutting in on his left. So I think it could work, definitely.
All right, right. So that's kind of we're talking just in particular Liverpool, so we're saying they're not really going to improve. Well, look, they will, but it's obviously going to be a better season than this season. But
I think more consistent next season, but I don't think that positionally they'll get any higher up the league than where they are at the moment.
And we reckon City, Chelsea, and United are all similar, where they've got a lot of potential. Think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you reckon that City are going to, like, the gap between City and everyone else now is going to drop, or do you reckon that kind of will still remain? Like surely now teams are starting to get results against them. They're getting figured out. Not really getting figured out. They have the quality to get away with it. But, like, they are going to start, like, tactics only last so long where, like, and do you remember Antonio Conte came in for Chelsea, completely changed the system. And I think he played one game and it was like 4-4-2 or something. Lost against Arsenal, changed to a 3-5-2, and he went on and won the league. So the season after that, I think it was, he got pretty much found out on them tactics straight away, and players and teams were able to adapt and play against them. Do you think that's going to happen with City, where they play a certain way and teams might adapt to how they play and kind of start kind of shutting them out a bit more, or maybe exposing them a bit more? Like,
if they get an out-and-out striker next season, they'll be playing a little bit differently.
Yeah, they would naturally probably just change.
Like when Pep was at Bayern Munich, when he was at Barcelona, he wouldn't have changed things that often, in the sense of the way he played with the teams and the players he had, but they just kept on winning and winning. I think what'll drop the gap next season is the teams around them will get stronger,
doing better,
and it's going to come down to nearly the head-to-head games, because they'll beat everyone underneath them.
That's the way it used to be, and that was when we had our best football in the league, and it was the most entertaining football to watch. It was them days when you had Chelsea, Arsenal, United, City all challenging for and like they were the big games, like, and then, like, they were the important games where it can make or break a season for you. Like. So
you can see it's getting back to there. Even by Europe this season, you can see it's getting back to there.
Yeah. Right, lads, look, we're going to move on because we have a couple more questions there. So John Flood has come in with who misses out on the top four. I'm just going to dive straight in. I'm going to say Leicester are going to lose out on it now. I think they've probably blown the chance. Like, do we think?
Yeah.
Roy Hodgson's last game for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, you were saying that you think fucking Liverpool were going to drop points.
Yeah, like I think that could be a banana skin for them, but I think they're on too good of a run. I'm looking at that Chelsea game. I didn't realise Chelsea weren't safe, and I'm just thinking that could be like that's a dodgy one. That's a really dodgy one against Villa. I know. Like, I'm not just saying that because you're on the podcast.
No, you are. You're 100% there.
I'm not. I'll stay as is. Yeah, I think Leicester will miss out. Yeah, because I don't think Leicester are certainly to win either. I think they might draw. So I don't think Chelsea and Liverpool will win, but I don't think. Like, I'm not saying one of them will win, but I think Leicester will draw, or they won't get the result they need. So I think Leicester will still.
In the last 7 games Chelsea played Villa, we've won 6 and drawn 1. So, like, we have a good record against them, and the last game we drew was actually the last game we played. So
is that home and away?
That's home and away, yeah. Right, we'll move on, lads. Again, we've kind of already covered this one. This comes in from the Flying Save away. What club do we think Harry Kane will go to? That's just a quick one, right? We'll just run through. Is he, when you think about like the abroad and kind of Spain, Italy, stuff like that, there's not really anyone that really appeals to him, is there? Like the likes of Barcelona, again, probably going to lose Messi. I'm not sure whether he's going to go or not, but definitely not the same team they were a couple of years ago. Real Madrid, the same. Atletico Madrid, maybe an option for him. I don't know whether that would be appealing for him. Like, he has Suarez there already.
Leagues are shy.
That's what I mean. There's no real appeal, I think, for him to go abroad. Like, maybe like to Italy, like could go to Juventus, Inter Milan, something like that. Maybe. Well, again, it does not appeal. I don't think.
No, I think he's too driven. I think he wants to stay in the Premier League. He wants to stay in the best league in the world to win the biggest trophies. So,
lads, I'm going to push this for an answer. City or United? Who's he going to?
United.
Okay, there we have it. Right, lads, that's the kind of the final questions we have there. So we're going to just jump back into.
How about you?
Sorry about that, Paddy. Cut you off there.
All right. What do you think?
I think he's going to go to City, to be honest.
Do you not think Haaland's gone to City? No,
don't think so. I think he might take the easy option and go to Spain. So, lads, we're looking at this game. Obviously, Liverpool and Crystal Palace 1-5. Liverpool massive favourites. The draw is 11-2, and Palace are 11-1. How do we see this one going again? We won't spend too long on it. We're 45 minutes in now, so we'll just kind of get through predictions, get to pretty much to the end. There's one other thing I want to just ask is after the predictions, just an opinion, and then we'll move on. So, Chris, what do you think is going to happen here?
I think Liverpool win it. There's too much to lose for them not to get a result, especially again at home, fans in the ground. They kind of want to kind of reward them or apologise for the shit start of the season by giving them something to cheer about to end off the season with. So yeah, I can't see anything other than a Liverpool win. I'm going to go for 3-0 Liverpool, and I'll say Trent to get the first goal.
Oh, show. Paddy?
Yeah, more of hope than actual belief, but I'm going to go with a draw here. And, is it Eze, your man, the lad that's
yeah,
I'm going to go for him to score. 1-1, going to go him to score first.
Decent player. Lads, yeah, look, it might not be as easy for Liverpool. Like, the likes of Zaha and all is going to want to be putting himself into the shop window. Eze as well is going to want to put himself in the shop window here. So, could want to try prove something against Liverpool. If he writes the headlines, how there's no other better way of fucking getting your name in the headlines. So, don't think it's going to be as easy as we might be thinking. I think it's going to be a tight Liverpool win though, and I'm going to say a 2-1 win, and I'm going to say Mane to score. I think
you don't know how the fans are going to affect those two young defenders either if they're playing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they're good on their back. Yeah. Right, lads, we'll move on from that one. City and Everton, a good game. 2-5 for City, 18-5 for the draw, and 6-1 for Everton. Paddy, how do you see this one going? Do you think City are going to be resting players? Yeah, City on the holidays.
Absolutely.
Going to rest
you
players.
You can see against Brighton, and the game before that as well against Newcastle, I think it was. Like conceding a load of goals. And it's the same thing that happened to United as well. Like, you drop 5-10%, you have a sewn up.
Yeah.
And all the Premier League teams are so good now that you drop your standards by 5-10% and you get caught out. And that's exactly what happened to United and exactly what happened to City over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So Everton need a win to get into Europe, although that's only if West Ham drop points. So I'm gonna go for a draw because it's gonna be Aguero's last game in the Etihad, so he's gonna want to have a good game. So I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw, and I'm gonna go for Calvert-Lewin to score first.
Okay, Chris?
I'm the opposite. I think that a game like this, after winning the league, your final game, especially at home, it kind of becomes like an exhibition game where I think they kind of turn it on, and I actually see them pissing all over everything. So I'm going to go for a big one here and say 5-0. And I'll say Aguero to score first.
Yeah, again, you're not wrong, Chris. I have seen it happening where kind of teams just fucking come out and put on a show last game of the season. Do you think, though, that Man City are nearly showing their hand to Chelsea with whatever team they're going to put out? Because it doesn't mean nothing for the Champions League? Or would you be happy to say that they're going to play someone for 90 minutes and then play them again for 90 minutes?
It's hard to say, really. Like they've got so many players that they can rotate that you can't really look at a City squad now and say who the strongest 11 is.
Yeah, no.
It all depends on what Pep thinks are the best tactics for the game. Yeah. So I think that for the most part he probably will play 8. I'd say 8 out of the 11 players that will start against Chelsea. Yeah. I'd say we'll start this game. And then once they go maybe 2 goals up, 3 goals up, they'll start making changes. I'd say he'd use the full allowance of substitutions then to get people on and give them a run out.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to go with a Man City win here. Again, I think, like Chris, like you were saying, it could be a bit of an exhibition game where they kind of come out and just play kind of exhibition. Yeah, exhibition style is the best way to describe it. I can't really improve on that word. And again, Paddy, you touched on it for it being Aguero's last game. I think he might get on the score sheet as well. So I think he might start and might score. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. And I'm going to say Aguero to score first. Lads, we're going to move on.
You need to focus your camera, Collie.
I know, I'm trying to do it off camera here, but I can't do it. Sheffield United and Burnley, 9-5 for Sheffield United, 9-4 for the draw, and 7-5 for Burnley. Chris, how do you see this one going? Again, a shit game. So not much to play for.
Yeah, bit of a shit game, but I think Burnley have a stronger squad, probably a bit more of like a, I don't know, I think for me, if I was playing at that level, which I obviously would never be able to, but if I was playing at that level and you're kind of, Jesus Christ, Cully, yeah, if you're playing at that level and the relief that you're feeling that you haven't been relegated and you're playing against one of the teams that have been, again, I think you probably turned it on a bit as like a kind of like a middle finger up to the team that are after getting relegated, like more of an embarrassment thing. So for me, anyway, I reckon Burnley will turn it on a bit. So I'll go for 2-0 Burnley and Chris Wood.
Okay. Paddy?
0-0.
Yeah, just like that. I kind of agree. I agree with Chris. I think it's going to be a fucking. It's going to be a Burnley win. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win. I'm going to say Wood again. He's kind of been on the score sheet quite regularly for them. So we'll move on, lads. West Ham and Southampton is the next one. 8-11 for West Ham, 14-5 for the draw, and 16-5 for Southampton. Paddy, what do you think of this one? Obviously, West Ham, like you were saying, they need them kind of few points. And
they only need the points to guarantee European football for next season. Yeah, they'll get the point. I think they'll actually win. I think they'll win the game. Yeah, I can see them finishing strong. I'm going to go for a 3-1 West Ham win, and I'm going for Jay Lings to score for us.
Nice one. Chris?
Yeah, I think West Ham win it comfortably in the end, but for some reason I just fancy Southampton to come out and give them a bit of a scare. There's always one of those games in around the top of the table where the team that you'd expect to win gets a bit of a scare or an early goal against them. I think this could be the one. I can see Southampton getting an early goal, sitting back. It's taking a while for West Ham to break them down, but then once they do, I can see a few goals going in. So I'll say 3-1 West Ham. Goal scorer, I'll say Souček.
I knew you were going to say him. I was like, don't say Souček. I had him in my fancy. Jinxing him. Usually when whoever we predict is usually wrong, so I try not to predict my own players because it's a win-win. If the other score, then at least I got a few points. So I'm in an agreement. Fucking in an agreement. Is that a word even? In agreement. In agreement. In agreement. All right, we got that one. I think I'm not a fucking English teacher.
No, but you do speak English, though, don't you?
Sometimes. I'm gonna go with West Ham to win. I'm gonna say 2-1, and I'm going to say Bowen to score because I don't have him in fancy football. So if he scores, I got it right. I'm a legend. So yeah, 2-1 win for West Ham. Bowen to score. Moving on, lads. Last game of the week. Jeez, we're at 50 minutes here, lads. We might even get it under the hour. Wolves and United, and then we start talking about United. 9-5 for Wolves, 5-2 for the draw, and 13-10 for United. Chris, how did you see this one going with United?
I think before the Fulham game, I would have thought this would have been the trickier game. But because we didn't get a result against Fulham, I can see us bouncing back and trying to get something for the last game.
Yeah.
And just kind of solidify the good end to the season. Because I think if the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool pick up points, I think we would want to just, me personally, I'd like to see a bit more of a gap in the points for the way the table ends, basically.
Yeah.
Just to reflect kind of the difference in how well we've been this season compared to the likes of fucking Liverpool.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, I see it being a United win. It's hard to see us not conceding because we always fucking do. So I'll say 2-1 United, and Greenwood to score, future Ballon d'Or winner.
Paddy.
I hope for the Europa League final, I really hope United put on a performance this weekend because we've been shocking the last few games. I'm gonna go with a United win, a 2-1 win again because we will concede, I think. And I'm gonna go for Bruno to score first. But just speaking of the Europa, Chris, who do you think will be the centre back pairing if Maguire's not fit?
Probably Boy and Lindelof.
Would you not prefer to see Tanzabi in there?
Personally, I'd like to see Boy and Tanzabi. I fucking hate Lindelof.
Yeah.
But I just think that for a game of that size and for what it means, he'll go with his just most trusted and most senior players, regardless of how well they've played as a partnership or the mistakes that they've made across the field. So I just think he'll go with senior experience more so than anything else. So I can see the two lads playing together. Yeah,
God help us.
Just noticed there, lads. I had see the way I've got the writing above my head up here. The Footballbets4u podcast. I've had the Footballbets4u pod asked for the whole time, so I just have to change it there. Lads, I don't know. Like the Europa is definitely something we haven't really touched on. How do you think? Like it was a Villarreal in the final, isn't it? Like, how do you see that match going? Do you think you'll dominate that game and win that game easily, or do you reckon that there could be like the Spanish teams against United are always a little bit of a blip for them, aren't they?
It definitely. Sorry, do you want to go, Chris, first?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it definitely won't be an easy game. I'm just looking at the Villarreal are 7th here.
Not having the best season domestically.
Yeah, their manager as well. You know, he's great in Europe.
The evening.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't like if you had asked me 4 games before Maguire got injured, I would have been very confident going into it. Very, very confident.
Yeah.
The closer it's getting to it, it's not looking like Maguire is going to play, which really puts the shits up me. I would like.
I never thought I'd hear you talking about Maguire like this, lads. It's refreshing.
I know, You even said it yourself though earlier on.
Oh,
like,
big time, yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think the stabilizing effect he has on the whole back line, and I think that's why he brought De Gea back in for the last game. Because I think Henderson with the two inexperienced defenders playing together were just a mess against Liverpool, an absolute mess. So I can see De Gea starting in the Europa League final. If Maguire starts, sorry,
is De Gea staying long term, or is that him done now?
The
massive talk of him going to Madrid, like.
Unless he gets assurances that he's number one next season, he's gone.
Yeah. Do you think he'll get it?
No. I think he's gone.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, because the talk of us going for Heaton, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, as well as a backup. Yeah,
Heaton coming in.
Not a bad backup to have.
No, not at all.
I'm going to go for United win for the Europa League. Yeah, I think I'm hoping the players show up on the day because they haven't been for the last couple of games. But I'm thinking to myself, is that because second place is confirmed? Yes, I'm going to go for United win, but I wouldn't be overly confident.
Do you know the date? What date? When is that Europa League final?
Wednesday, 26th.
Wednesday the 26th. Wednesday?
It's Wednesday,
yeah. Oh, it's weird, isn't
it? Yeah. Sorry, Chris. Just a comment in there. From erectile dysfunction, what's the crack? He's back. Thoughts on the 4-2, lads?
It was a nutting game.
Oh,
it was a nutting game.
That's a cop out.
It was though. Like if it hadn't meant anything, I'd be disappointed. But you never want to lose against Liverpool. But it didn't really mean much afterwards. Like at the end of the game, I was like, oh shit. But then the next day, I was like, I couldn't really give a shit.
I think, if we'd have lost 4-2 on the day it was originally supposed to happen, I'd have been a lot more pissed off.
Yeah.
But the way it unfolded and the way that the fixture fell with it being squeezed in between the games and it meaning even less to us coming into that game and even more to Liverpool, I wasn't very surprised that we lost, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing a lot of excuses here, erectile dysfunction. Don't know if you're happy with that response, but... I'm
absolutely devastated. Don't get me wrong. I fucking hate losing to Liverpool.
Lads, I'm going to go. I don't know if I gave me score prediction on this one, did I?
No.
Go way out, but lads, love it. I'm going to go with a United win here. I'm going to say 2-1. And I'm going to say Rashford to score. Because I think he is due a goal, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Hasn't really been getting many.
He's been pants since he started his field drive.
Yeah, right, lads. That's the games done. We got the games done in under an hour, which is the first
final game of the season. Oh,
just a quick one. We're going to go into. And we're going to end at that because we've absolutely nothing to cover on the Ultimate Squad because we didn't do any fixtures this week. So we're going to do. I think there's 2 game weeks left on it, so we're going to do them over the next kind of 2 weeks. So Paddy, me and you might do another Instagram live and stuff like that. We'll do the drive for the next fixtures and have a little bit of a chat about it. Yeah. Lads, one other thing I just wanted to talk about was a post I seen just from Skybet they put up, and they were asking the manager of the season. Who are we saying for this, lads? As look, Moyes is obviously up there. Brendan Rodgers, Pep. Who else could we throw in with? Bielsa. Throw him in the mix. Who do we think is who's your manager of the season and why?
Kind of define is it just in the Premier League?
Yeah. Just Premier League. Manager of the season in the Premier League.
Brendan Rodgers is the one that comes to mind for me anyway.
Right, okay, yeah. Why just in terms of league position or the cup in general?
Just the general performance of the squad. Like I think when everybody thought of Leicester as just those kind of one-hit wonders that they were going to come in and they'd disappear, and they weren't doing great. But I think with him coming in, he's proven his worth and shown just how much he did get shafted by Liverpool when they did let him go. Yeah. I think like he's a class manager, and he presents himself and kind of presents the club that he's with really well as well. He always talks really positively about the players. He always has a great relationship with the players. You could see him at the end of the FA Cup final with the owners and all, like they were all like hugging it out and they were all emotional, which is funny, but at the same time, it does show like he's liked by everybody and he has a great relationship with everyone. So to me, I think for getting them back up into 5th this season and winning the FA Cup, I think he has to be up there with a show.
Fair, yeah. Paddy, who are you thinking?
I can't really look past Pep. But like you could say, like, you know, Rodgers and David Moyes and stuff, but like they bottled it at the end for Champions League. If United had finished stronger, finished like say 6 points behind United or behind City, I would have been arguing for Ole. But they didn't. They fell off again. The most consistent manager, and I know he has the best squad, but they're just so strong and they're just so good to look at. Like the way he has them playing and all, without an out-and-out striker this season as well. Yeah, that's just been class. So yeah, I'm going to say Pep.
I'm torn between Bielsa and Moyes. I'm actually going the other way, where I'm just thinking who has really overachieved with their team.
That's smile
on his face and
out the door.
And when he gets the bottle in, he pulls it across and like kind of shows the camera as if to show, like, look what's happening.
I thought I was going to be giving out about something. I thought I was in trouble, and then the bottle just started floating in towards me. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I think, lads, between Moyes and Bielsa for me, and I'm probably going to say Moyes because I love what he's done with Jesse Lingard there, and I gave fucking Jesse Lingard awful stick when he was with United, but he's a different player. He's a new player this season, and and I just think what he's done, and like when you look at the likes of Souček, Bowen, like he has them all firing on all cylinders, and even Antonio and stuff like that is on the score sheet most weeks. So I'm probably going to give it to Moyes. Great season from Bielsa to come up 4th season and finish fucking potentially 8th. Like with that team, a team of, let's be honest, nobodies. Because we wouldn't have really heard of any of the players, and now we all fucking know who they are. Like, especially Bamford.
Now, how good of a manager he is.
Is he going to be there next seasson though?
Bielsa? He's committed. He's committed.
Did he?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I didn't know that. Just erectile dysfunction. Big Daddy Klopp, in my opinion. Okay. Your opinion is wrong. I think that's a joke. Yeah, lads, I'm gonna go with Moyes. I think he's probably done the best. Lads, we're gonna move on to just the final section of the show, and that is the bit that's about to pop up now.
Oh yeah.
The betting section. So lads, oh shit, there's one other thing I have to do is just to have a quick look at the fantasy football. I don't have much on bets wise this week, lads. I've just done me sorry, I'll just show you this now. I've just done my bet for the challenge. So the €10 to 1,000 challenge. So I've started it again. So give me 1 second. I'll just pull that up. What I do want to look at as well is that fantasy football league, just to give an update on anybody that is actually following the page and is watching the stream. So lads, this is what I've done for me 10 to 1,000. Again, like I said, lads, I'm going to continue this on until I fucking hit it. I don't care. I'm getting 10 to 1 on this. So I put a tenner on it. Again, like I said, I'm hitting 1,000. Don't care how long it takes. So it's a 6-fold, lads. So although I've jumped the gun a bit, it's €116 returns. So I've gone for it. I've gone with Dortmund, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. Swansea, I think, are a good price to beat Barnsley at 8-5, and then Liverpool terrible price on 1-7, but just think they're going to guarantee a win. So that 8-5 is a massive price, I think, for Swansea. I just think, in terms of club stature at the moment, Swansea are probably the more experienced in the situation they're in, with like playoffs and getting to the Premier League and stuff like that. Barnsley very new to it. It's the first time I think in a while they've been in the promotional kind of battle. So, and they only really snuck into it late on. So I think 8-5 is a great price for Swansea. So lads, look, that's all I've done. I will be doing a couple more bets during the week, and I will throw them up on the Instagram just because I don't usually, but I will do it this week. So one other thing that I wanted to share was the Fantasy Football League. So I'm just going to pull that up real quick. I'm just going to show the kind of top few. Let me just see. I haven't closed that, have I? I think they should be here. Yeah. So, lads, it's hard to see there, so I'm going to just zoom in. So, in first place, we have John Hermanson. I'm going to absolutely butcher these names, lads, so bear with me. First place is John Hermanson. He's about 20 points ahead. Then second is Ali El Lawari. Don't know what this one is. Naya Young Kwai. Kyo. Okay. How are we saying this name, lads? Me and Mortar always have this debate. Garrod O'Leary or Gerard?
Garrod.
Okay. Garrod O'Leary is sitting in fourth, and Pritam Giri is sitting in fifth. So that's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth get payout. First is 100 quid, second is 50, 30, 20, and then 10. So if you're in the top 5, you will be getting some. Lads, I think one other thing I want to just do was, for the laugh, jump to the very bottom of the league just to see who was in last position. Because I think that's...
Please don't be me. Please don't be me.
Because that is just hilarious, and I hope it's somebody I know. Right, here we go. Last position, we have John Tiswell. And I actually do know John Tiswell. Paddy, you know John Tiswell as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, to me, it looks like he may have joined a little bit late. I'm not sure. But Kofi Mensah, Michael Mulhall, Aaron Moore, I think I know him, used to work with him. Not going to even bother trying to say them two names.
Your brother.
My brother is in 316, Stone Cold's position. Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Rory Coleman. My brother is sitting in 316 position. So,
surely there should be a prize for that now.
Oh, he'd be getting a fucking Stone Cold Stunner when I see him. That's all he'd be getting. Right, lads, look, I think that's we're going to call it a day at that. It's pronounced Garrod. Oh, there we go. That could be Garrod. Oh, we might have found out the identity of erectile dysfunction, lads.
Oh, Garrod. Yeah, he's getting all a bit touchy about that, isn't he?
Oh, we found his little fucking his kryptonite there. Lads, we're an hour and 7 in, so this has been the shortest podcast in the world. So, it's been emotional. I do want to say a big shout out to my dad, who's in the hospital at the moment as well. He's having surgery tomorrow, so best of luck with all that.
Best of luck, buddy.
So, lads, look, we will be here at the same time next week, and we will be doing all the same stuff. We won't have obviously the scores and predictions and stuff like that, but we will be talking about a couple of topics. Lads, I think what I'm going to try do over the next kind of couple of weeks as well is maybe look at getting some people onto the podcast. People have a bit of time and obviously aren't wrapped up with fucking football now, so now is going to be the time for me to kind of start hounding people on Instagram and see if I can get them for 15 minutes to have a little chat with us. So we do have someone who is interested in coming and talking about a book that they have wrote, and we might have
be able to give you a few English lessons as well.
Yeah, like I'll take it if I can get any. Yeah, if I can give me any book at all, I think just reading any book will probably help.
Yeah, it's actually Mr. Collins from Collins Dictionary coming on to speak to us.
It's a pop-up book as well. He's after writing, so it's perfect. Right, lads, we're gonna call it a day there. Thanks for joining me, Paddy.
Thank you. Great season.
Chris.
Best of luck.
Cheers, everyone, for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will be here at the same time next week. So, best of luck to everyone.